Can anyone confirm? Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So last time we discussed regarding this section 3 app 2. So in that constructors, object creation and argument constructor, non-argument constructor, and static blocks and all and these methods, these keywords and all we discussed. So already we completed section 3 app 2. Now we will go for this section 3 app 3 here. So in these sections also have a some concept related for this constructor itself. So we are revising this topic. So the section 3 app 3 have package. Section 3 app 3, this is a package we declared here in this class, and then class A we created. Inside that we have a one constructor. This is a non-argument constructor. So constructor will create based on the class name, and then open braces, curly braces. Inside some SOP will be there. And the other is also we have a parameterized constructor. So single parameterized integer I type is there. Now the compiler will go for the main method. So once the object has created for the class A equal to new A, the constructor will call. So this is new A is a like non-argument construct object created. So for that purpose this non-argument constructor will call, and this SOP will print. First this SOP line number 7, and then line number 16 will print. Again the new object has created for A2 reference of new A3 A23. So this is argument integer type. So compiler will check either we have any constructor which have integer type of I. Yes, have. So they will assign this value of I, and this A int will print, and then this will be print. So if we'll run this program, so this is the constructor output, like so non-default constructor, parameterized constructor. When the object will be created, the constructor will call. The behavior based on the object creations, either argument or non-argument, default constructor or parameterized constructor. Based on that particular constructor will call in this same class. For the next program here, the class B have one constructor is a default non-argument constructor, or others is this is one block is there. So they have not mentioned a static here. If they mention a static, then that will be a static block. If you have not mentioned the static, just created open braces, curly braces, open and close curly braces, inside some SOP is there, means this is a some block that is called non-static block. If you mention a static, that means a static block. If you are not mentioning any static keyword and directly open and close curly braces, and inside some SOP is there inside the class in anywhere, then it means like this is a IIB. IIB means instance initialization block. So for that instance initialization block, when the object will create, then this will be called. But in a static, when the classes will load, a static block will be executed before the main method. But in this case, once the main method will call and then object will be created based on the reference, we can call this. So if we'll run this program here, we have a one constructor, another is IIB, and two time we are creating an object. So the first time whenever we created the object, once the object has created, IIB will call. So this output, like once object you created, because a static, once the classes has loaded, a static will be loaded. But in this case, once the object is created, this block will be executed. Suppose if you are creating or if you are calling two times of object, then two times IIB will be executed. So here what will happen, b1 equal to new b means object has created. So compiler will first execute the IIB block, instance initialization block, and then they will execute the constructor, because this is non-parameterized constructor. So based on that, this constructor will call, and this SOP will be printed, and after that this dash SOP will print. Now same we have a b2 equal to new b. In this case, once the object has created, then IIB will be executed. So always once the object will be created, IIB will execute. And then this also have non-parameterized constructor, so this constructor will be executed. So like that we can call SIB, SIB and IIB. What is the use of SIB, when to use SIB and when to use IIB. So in this class C have a constructor. So this constructor have non-parameterized constructor, and other is IIB, means one block is there. This is non-static block, which means IIB, instance initialization block, and this is a parameterized constructor. Now what will happen? Compiler will call the static method. So once the static method will call, we have an object created. So C1 equal to object created based on the class name. So class name is C. So C and then reference name C1 equal to new C. So this new C is a non-argument constructor. So non-argument object creation will call the non-argument constructor. So before that one object has created, non-static block will be executed. So IIB will be executed, then constructor will call non-argument constructor, and then this SOP will print. In this case, second our object have argument constructor. So once the object has created, non-static block will be executed, then parameterized constructor will call. So in this parameterized constructor we have cint and then this test. So like that we can revise this all constructors and all. So if we'll go for the class D, in this class D we have a non-parameterized constructor, and then we have IIB1 and IIB2. So we can use multiple IIB in single class, but once the object will be created, all the IIB will be executed. So if you'll run this program, here we have a two object is D1 and D2 reference. So see, once object is created, first IIB was executed and then second IIB was executed, and after that this constructor is called. Why? Because of default object created happened. So default argument constructors will be called. For the second way we have also default argument constructor will call, but before that IIB will be executed. So two IIB and then one default constructor. Now this one we have a class E. Inside that this is non-static block, this is a default argument constructor, argument constructor, and this we are creating an object for that. So compiler will go for the main method. In that main method we have E argument type. So this is argument type. So this argument constructor will call, but before that once the object is created, compiler will check if any non-static block is there. If there means IIB is there, if there means this will be called first. IIB will be called first, then argument constructor. Like that we have again some parameterized constructor, single parameterized constructor, and that is integer type numeric. So again once the object has created, IIB will be executed and then constructor will call. So this is output here. So like that we can revise this all. Are you able to understand this whole concept? Constructor, parameterized constructor, default constructor, a static block, non-static block, object creation. This are you able to understand? Okay. So we cover this all, and now we will cover the super keyword in this app section 4 app 1. But before that 2-3 programs is there, we will revise this also. So here the class F is non-static block, this is IIB, and then we have a default constructor, parameterized constructor, and then default constructor is there. So once the object is created, this is default object creation. So IIB will be executed and then default constructor will call for the first object creation, and the second object creations like IIB will be executed, then parameterized constructor will call. So this will be the output for this program of F. Next program is G. Here also we have a non-static block, and then we have a default non-parameterized constructor, then parameterized constructor, and we are calling non-parameterized object. For that IIB will be executed, and then this non-parameterized constructor will call, and then this dash SOP will execute. After that we have a parameterized constructor, so this parameterized object creation. So parameterized constructor will call, but before that we need to call have non-static block, then parameterized constructor, then this SOP. So if we will run this program here, IIB, then constructor, then IIB, then parameterized constructor. The next program is H program. Here we have a parameterized constructor, then non-static block IIB, then parameterized non-parameterized constructor, then again we have a second IIB, means non-static block. So once the object has created of the class H, then all the non-parameterized non-static block will be executed, means IIB block will be executed. Then constructor will execute, because this is a default constructor object creation. For that default constructor will be SOP will be executed. And again second SOP object creations, both IIB will be executed, then parameterized constructor will be executed. So if you will run this program here, you will get this. See, IIB1, IIB2, IIB1, IIB2, default constructor here, and parameterized constructor here. So this is a class I here in this same default constructor, means non-argument constructor, and then default constructor only compiler will provide. We have a argument constructor, non-argument constructor, and default constructor. So default constructors, if we are not manually providing any constructor, then compiler will provide, but there will be no SOP and all, so nothing will be affected, but compiler will just provide a single constructor as a default. So internally they are providing, you will not able to see that. And so here we have a non-parameterized constructor, then instance initialization block, and this is static block. Why? Because static has mentioned, static keyword has mentioned, so this is a static block. So once the classes will be loaded, a static block will execute first. After that main method will be executed. Once the object has created, non-static block will be executed second, and then based on this object creations, parameterized or non-parameterized constructor will call. So if we will run here, so we have a 3 object creation. One is non-parameterized, other non-parameterized, and third is also non-parameterized. So once you will run this output, see, in this case what will happen, once the classes is loaded, a static block has executed. So a static block will be executed in a single time, not in every time, because once the class is loaded, SIB is executed in the first. After that you are creating an object, so whatever the object will be created, every time IIB will execute it. So once the object is created, IIB executed, and then based on the object creation behavior, non-parameterized constructor will call, because this object creation is a non-parameterized, so this non-parameterized constructor will call. Then again next object is created, so next object was created for this IIB and non-parameterized constructor, then IIB and non-parameterized constructor. So like that we cover this. And if you go for this, so here also we have a static block, non-static block, this method, and then constructor, default constructor of parameterized constructor, non-parameterized constructor. So a static block will be executed first once the classes will load, no matter after that of any object creations and all is happening, but non-static block will be executed when the object has created. And this keyword is used for this in the same class for this immediate of immediate of the based on the methods or a constructor's behavior, this will be called. So if you run this program, so what will happen, compiler will, once the classes will be loaded, this the static block will execute it. So static block has executed first time, and after that static block has executed first time, and once you have created an object, then IIB will be executed. So this IIB has executed, and after that this object has a non-default constructor. So default constructor will call here. That's it. For the second object is a parameterized constructor. Non-parameterized constructor is called here, and second is parameterized constructors. Parameterized constructor IIB has executed, and then IIB has executed, and after that we'll go for the parameterized constructor. So in this parameterized constructor we have this keyword. So this keyword is showing non-parameterized. So for that non-parameterized constructor we'll call for this. Before SOP we have this keyword. So this keyword should always after the main inside this first block. So this should be always first statement in the inside this method or inside this block. So once we'll go for the parameterized constructor, we have this is a non-default non-parameterized. For that non-parameterized constructor will call, and then SOP of parameterized will call. So if we run, this is the output. Like that we have a k. So in this k we have a constructor, and then we have a IIB, then parameterized constructor this, and then a static block, then we have again parameterized constructor, and again we have a static block, and then IIB. So can anyone tell me what will be the output for this? How we will call, because here we have a multiple this parameterized, non-parameterized, IIB, SIB blocks and all are there. So if we'll go here, class K is first is non-parameterized constructor, then IIB non-static block, then parameterized constructor. Inside that we have a this, then a static block, then two parameterized constructor inside also this with single parameter, then a static block, then non-static block, and then main method, and then we are creating a three time of object creations. One is default, another is single parameter, another is double parameters. So what will be the output for this? This is the task which you have to check what will be the output for this. Once you will run this program, so see what will happen. There was two SIB was there. So on the classes will load, SIB will be executed, then IIB first, IIB second, then constructor K, and after that in this parameterized call, if this parameterized call, this is single parameterized. So once the classes will be loaded, all the non-static block will be executed. IIB1 and IIB2 will be executed first, and then this is parameterized. So this is a parameterized. So in this parameterized constructor we have a non-parameterized, this is there. So this will refer immediate constructors and all, because this is non-parameterized. So non-parameterized constructor will call. So non-parameterized constructor is K, and then after that this K int will be called. Then after that again we have a two parameterized constructor. So once two parameterized constructor, so once the object is executed, both non-static block executed, and after that it will go for the two parameterized constructor. So this is two parameterized constructor. Here we have a this of single parameters. So this of single parameters Compiler will check this of single parameter constructor is there or not. Is there? Yeah, this of single parameter constructor is there. And again we have this of non parameterized constructor. So this non of parameterized constructor is there or not. Yeah, this is there. So this will be called, and then this will be called first, and then after that it will go for the single parameter. So this will be called first, and then it will go for the double parameters, means this will be called first. So like this will be the output for this program. So if you want, you can see the this of K program, which will be concept of all the all this keywords, object creations, static, non-static, parameterized, non-parameterized constructors and all. So these all will be concept will cover in this program. So you can go through that. Also you can verify the output whatever we see in this here in the compiler. So we cover all those things. IIB also we cover non-static block. Now in app section 4 app 1, we will have a new topic. Inside we will cover a super keyword and how we will use from one class to another class. Just 5 minutes. क्या हो रहा है? कथी हो रहा है? दूध गिर रहा था दाई क्या करा पता नहीं घर पर पहुंचा. Yeah, so now we will cover this next topic here. We will cover super keyword, how we will use the super keyword and how we can access one class inside the other class by using extend, or what is the use of implements and extend keyword, when to use implements, when to use extend, and how we will access from one class to another class, what is interface, how we can access inside one interface to other interface or class inside interface. And also we will cover what is a super and all. So we'll see here the class section 4 app 1. In this app 1 we have a package declaration section 4 app 1 inside class A. So class A we declare integer I. This is a non-static integer variable I, and the class B extends A. So this is a class A. Class A we are extending inside the B, means whatever the value or variables or methods, everything inside the class A, that will be extend inside the class B also. And again we have inside the class B we have a int j. This is also non-static variable integer type of j. Now we have a main method, so compiler will execute, will go for the main method first, and if you are running the class B for that, so we have a main method will call, and then b equal to new b is there. So once the object has created, based on the reference we can call non-static variable, because non-static variable directly either it should be assigned some value, or based on the reference we can call inside the static method, because this main method is static and this variables is non-static, this variables is also non-static. If you want to call, then either based on the reference you have to call, or need to be initialized with some value. So here b1.i and b1.j means the default value will be printed of I and j. I is 0 and j is 0 because both are integer type, and I is present in A, but we are extending here. So whatever the declarations, method and blocks or anything will be there in the class A, that will become in this class B also, because we are doing some extends based on the extends. Now we will go for the next program, class D. So this class D, we have a class C. Class C have non-static variable, and other is non-static method test1. Now we are having class D. So inside class D we are extending the class C. So class C have two things, one is variables, one is method. So these two things will be extend inside this D class. So inside this D class, now this inheritance concept is happening. Means this is the parent class. Parent class have some variables and method. So the child is inheriting the property and behavior from the parent class to child class. So how they are inheriting? Based on the extend keyword. So here oops concept inheritance will be covered. So what all are the common things will be there? We have to declare in the parent class, and the parent class will access, all the child class will be access common behavior from the parents instead of reinitialized. So here we have four things. One is int I, int j, void test1, void test2. So two non-static variable, two non-static method. Now once you run the class D program, so compiler will go for the main method, and these all are non-static, so directly we can't access, because non-static should have some value, or if not, then based on the reference we can call. For non-static method, based on the reference we can call, and non-static value either should be defined some value, or based on the reference we can call. So here we created object of class D, and based on the reference we are calling test1 and test2. And then after that SOP, then d1.i initialize with 10, d1.z initialize with 20, and then we are printing. So if we'll run here, so test1, see form test1 d1.test1 means form test1 will be called SOP form test1, d1.test2 means form test2 will be called, then this SOP will print, and after that d1.i d1.z means 10 and 20 will be printed. Now we have a class G. So inside this class G we have class E. So class E have non-static variables, then static variables, then non-static method, then a static method. So these four things are there: non-static variable, non-static variable, non-static method, static method. Now class F extending this E. So whatever the things is available here in this class E, this will be extended in the class F also. And after that class F also have some non-static variable, static variable, non-static method, and static method. So now total 4 are there inside the class F. Again we have others class. So in single class we can have a multiple class declaration also, but while running this class you can run based on the main method, whatever the class which will be having main method, that you can run. So if we are running the class G having main method, and inside this main method we are calling based on the class. So if you want to call test2 method, so test2 method inside which class, so you should have to mention here e class dot test2, f class, if f class is there then f class dot test2, if f class dot test4, like that. Or else if class G has extend, then directly based on the reference of class G you can use. So main method public static void main string e dot test2, e dot test, f dot test2, f dot test4. So if you run this program, what will happen? See, e dot test2 means e class E test2 method will be executed. F dot test2 means class F, f2 method e test2 method will be executed. So class E test2 method will be executed means this method will be executed form test2. Okay. Now again what we are doing, f dot test2. So e dot test2 already we seen, this one static method was there, so e dot test2 we executed. Now again they are doing f dot test2. So inside f we don't have any test2, but they have extended of e methods variables and all, class e methods variables. So inside this f also we'll have a test2. So f dot test2, if you will execute, then this same sop will be printed, form test2. So here two form test2 is there, form test2. Now what they are doing, f dot test2, and then after that f dot test4. So f dot test4, so inside the class f dot test4 is there. Yeah, f dot test4. So f dot test4 is there, means this will be printed. And then after that what you have, e dot j and e dot n, they have reinitialized and then object created for e. And now e dot I, based on the reference, they reinitialize this I value and they call this e dot test1. Again for this f1 equal to new f dot I reinitialize, f dot m reinitialize, then f1 dot test they are calling. नहीं जबू
मैं वर्ष है तमें
इतने लेट का है लोग
हाँ?
पहले
क्या ना सामान वामान फिर गाड़ी वाले बड़ा उतरवा अब मैं वर्ष ले लो हम लोग मैं लोग को कहाँ गया क्यों
लगा दे
हाँ लगा दिली ईटा के है ना कोनी बार को गुटका रहे, गुटका दे देते ना ईटा। अच्छा नाश्ता वास्ता ना, हाँ
नाश्ता दे रही ना के
बिस्किट है सर
छोला ना। अच्छा बाबू को हो गया सब चीज, जाजिम बदल के ना है, ओहो घर के सब जाजिम बदल, ओहो घर के तो अपना घर वाला जाजिम बदल, बाबू को सब चीज हो गया।
हाँ ठीक है, आ गया हाँ पेट झड़ ले ना, पेट झड़ ले दुआरे दही दही नाश्ता दे। So you can check this program, we already run here. So many things are there, just you have to follow it. E dot test2, f dot test2, then f dot test4, then they reinitialize this j and after that they created the e class of object, and based on the reference they initialize this I, and then they are calling from, based on the reference they are calling non-static test1, and then again they created object of f class, and for that f they reinitialize this I value, m value, and then based on the reference they are calling this test non-static method, then test3 non-static method, and after that they are printing this j and I, and then I f1.I and f1.m addition value for this, sorry not addition, here comma is there, so this comma value. So if you'll see this program output, then you'll get this output here. So you need to check this. So how we will call multiple class in a single class, we can use a multiple class by using extend keywords. So and one class should have a main method, and that class should have run. Once you run that, there will have all the declaration or object creations things will be there, that will be executed line by line. So see here, inside this class have a multiple class also. So this class I have constructor, class J have class J constructor, class K have main method only. So what will happen, class I have one constructor, class J have J constructor, but in class J we are extending the I, so class J will have two constructor, I and J constructor here, and then class K just one main method is there. So you have to run this program by using class K. So once you run the program, what will happen, object creation happen from the I object equal to new I, means for I class. So once the classes I object has created, means constructor will call. So this constructor will be called I of class I constructor will call non-parameterized constructor, and then SOP. Again, what they are doing, they are declaring, creating a class of J. So once the classes of J will be created, then uh, the constructor will call. So inside that, if you will run this program, so what will happen? The first class of I constructor was there, but in J we have I and J both constructor. Two constructor is there. So J1 equal to new J. So in this J, non-parameterized two constructor. One is I constructor, and another is J constructor. Why? Because of we extend the I. So whatever the I, the constructor value, constructor variables, methods, and all will be there. That will be extend here. So it's a inheritance concept. If you are not providing any constructor, compiler will provide the default constructor, but default constructor should not have any SOP. It means like you will not able to see anything, or just they have created a default constructor. So here the class L have a non-parameterized constructor, and class M extending L means here M constructor is there, again L constructor is there. So two non-parameterized constructor inside this M, and then N we have a extend M keyword. So M class. So in this M class we'll already have two constructor L and M. So here three constructor will be there in class N. And then we have a class O. So class O have a main method. So class O have main method means L object equal to new L, and then M object equal to new M, and then N object equal to new N. So when we created object of L, then L constructor will call. When we, so this one non-argument constructor, this will be called. When we created object of M, then constructor will call. When we created the constructor of N constructor will be called. So if you run this program, L, then LM, and then here LML, 3 will be there, this end. So we created a class of N, so inside this we are extending M. So M will have two constructor, so this 2 and non 3 will be called here. Like that we have a class. So that class P have one constructor, class Q extending P means class Q will have a other constructor Q, and also will have a P constructor. So two constructor Q and P, but here some super keyword is there. So what is super we'll discuss. And then class R is a main method. So class R is the main method. Inside they are calling the Q object creation and P object creation. So what will happen, this and super should be always the first statement inside this constructor, inside the method, anywhere. If you are using this or super, that should always have a first statement. Then we have a SOP or any statement should be there. So supers is used for this immediate parent class of immediate parent class, to access this immediate parent class. So we have Q class is there. If you want to access the parent class, so this is different class. This is Q class and this is a different class, means this is a child class which they are extending the P, means this is a parent class, not P, this is a parent class. So the supers directly we can't access from the other class constructor, because if I want to access other class informations, so for that we need have super. So supers will be used from the other classes. If you are using this, so this should always work in this current class. So this is the current class only will be accessible inside this class only, but supers will be accessible inside this class, not just immediate outside of class. So what will happen, if you run this program, you will get the understanding of super keyword. So see, super keyword, what will happen, first once you run the program of class R, so class R have main method, so you have run the program of class R. So here we have a object creation, Q equal to new key. So once Q has object has created, constructor will call. So this constructor will call. But in this constructor what will happen, one is a super keyword. So super keyword always super keyword with a non-default or non-parameterized super keyword. So non-parameterized keyword means always call this non-parameterized constructor. So super means immediate parent class will be called. So suppose this is a child class of active, so immediate parent class of p, this is there. So here this super keyword means this constructor, like non default non-argumented constructors will be called from this immediate parent class. So the immediate parent class means this will be called. So the output is p and then q. Now we have a class p. So this class p object creation happen. So once the object has created, constructor will call. So this is non-parameterized constructor. So non-parameterized constructor will call and SOP will be printed here. But for this q case, once the object has created, constructor will call, and constructor seen like we have extend keyword, so p will be extended. But here super keyword was there, so super keyword will call immediate parent class. So this parent class is this p constructor. So this way p will be worked and then q will be print like. So this is the use of super keyword. If you'll see this super keyword definition, definition and uses of super keyword. Super keyword refer the super class of parent object. It is used to call super class of method and to access the super class constructor. Super class of method and to access the super class of method. The most common use of super keyword is eliminate the confusions between this super class and subclass that have a method with the same name. So that's why we use this. To understand the super keyword, you should have a basic understanding from inheritance and polymorphism. So what will happen here in this class R, why a super keyword has mentioned here. So this is the definition, exact definition. You can go through that and understand this super keyword here. So mostly super keyword is used to resolve the confusions and all. So that's why we use the super keyword or immediate parent class of constructor methods we have to call. For that purpose we are using super keyword. Here what we have, multiple classes are there, multiple constructor has inside the classes, and then we have a super keyword. So if you run this program, so class view have a main method, so we are running this program by using q. So once you run this program, then t1 equal to new t object created of t class. So once you t class will have, so t class have constructor. So once the object will created, the constructor will call. So once the object has created, constructor is called, and after that this dash 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 has created. Once the object is created for the R, then R should have R is nothing here, R is not there. This is R1 class, but here we are creating the object of R, so nothing will be there, just dash 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 will be printed. And once the object has created, S equal to new S means S of, then this will be called. So here if we will do here R1, inside this if I am doing R1, new R1, then if you run this program based on the R1, see this T and R1, the R1 have once the object has created, then r1 will be called. So r1 was constructor will call. So inside this r1 we have this r1 constructor, but before that we have a super. So while super means immediate parent class of constructor will be called. So s, then r1 will be called here. Here also we have a class B and class W. So class B have non-static like sorry, class B have parameterized constructor, class W have also parameterized constructor. But see here, they use this keyword, but this keyword always work inside the class only. Super keyword also work inside outside of class with immediate parent class, just immediate parent class. So here what is the error? Because this is a parameterized constructor, inside that they are checking this keyword is a non-parameterized, so this constructor w is undefined. Because inside this constructor this is used for the current class or same class inside the class. So inside this default this non-parameterized constructor is not available inside this w class. So that's why we are getting, because it won't take from this. If you are extending is fine, but it won't take from the class B, because it. So that's why we are getting this one is a non-argument constructor, but this class W should not have any non-argument constructor. So that's why we get the error. Then we have a class Y. In this class Y, we have class X, class Y extending X. Then we have one constructor of Y, one parameter constructor. Then we are running the class Y. So we have a two object creation. One is x1 equal to new x, means other is xy1 equal to new y with two parameters. Sorry, single parameters. So x1 equal to new x means once the object has created, this constructor will call, but class x nothing is there, so nothing will happen. Then we have a class y equal to new y. So once the object has created, constructor will call. So this is parameterized constructor. So this y int will be printed and then dash dash dash. So like that we covered here in this section 4 app 1 super also. So super keyword, this keyword, static block, static variables, static method, non-static method. Non-static block means IIB, instance initialization block, object creations, class, single class, multi-class, access usable, and then yeah. So this all I have covered. Now we will go for this section 4 app 2. So this we will cover tomorrow. Can we continue now or tomorrow we'll cover? Can anyone confirm me? Sorry, I'm not able to hear you properly. Okay. Okay, so till now we covered this section 4 app 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 11 sections, 11 applications we completed here. Now tomorrow we will discuss about this, the same thing.
Amarjit, I have a question.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, maybe I don't know, but I just wanted to know, like you said that about if concept, you know. So, are we gonna get like theoretical knowledge also on that topic, or this is a like you're gonna explain us like this way, like with the programming. So,
Programming already we told like if you want based on the programming we will discuss here programming and just overview of theoretical and just you can go for the any tutorials like tutorials point I have already told in that you can go and check the proper definition what is the use of that. Mostly here we are covering this programming. If you want I can cover all the theoreticals also, but just overview I am giving you for this.
I I'm not from the IT background, and it's little difficult for me to connect, as you say. So I tried, but I'm
Uh-huh.
just asking. Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why.
So meanwhile, what we will do, that time only we will discuss the theoreticals also in details
Like
also.
you inheritance, but inheritance as a like its own topic to you
Hmm.
know to explain. So that's why I was asking, like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
fine.
what you
Because on our startings, I asked like either you will go for this way or both we have to consider or only pro theoreticals. So most of
I would
them
like,
told.
yeah, go ahead.
So what will happen tomorrow onwards? We will go for the theoreticals and programming also. Like whatever we are discussing here, you will consider theoreticals also. Like you will
Yeah,
clear the all the theoretical part, but just will be basics. If you want detailed theory, then we will go for this. Any tutorials we will take, and for that we'll go by the definitions, uses, why we are using, how we are using, and all. And after that,
yeah,
we will
that
discuss the programming.
yeah, because for like for me it's little you know like I get little question mark on my mind, so that's why I was thinking I just
Okay,
want
okay,
to
okay.
ask you.
Okay, no issues. Before only you have to intimate me. I thought everyone have understanding, good understanding for this because these all are basic and one by one we have executed multiples program so that understanding will happen or also theoreticals and programming will be cleared. But
Yeah,
we
I,
will go for the
I
details, not an
yeah, I
issue.
understand so far, but I'm telling like for the future topics, like like if concept or loop thing, all those things. Like, so if we will get little bit like theoretical also, so that will be good for us. I was
Okay.
just giving you on a point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, sure, I'll do that one. And tomorrow we will continue for this section 4 app 2 and section 5 also we will try to continue,
Okay,
and whatever the theory will come here that will be discussed in that time only.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
then we are closing
Yeah,
here. We'll connect tomorrow with same time.
all right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you requesting everyone to just go through all the topic which we will discuss till now so that you will clear that, and if you have any doubt let me know or ping me so that we will also go for the theoretical part programming also if you have any doubt till now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Amarjeet, I have a question.
Okay.
So, if I want to see any project, is there any tutorial or something related to Java,
Project.
like a live project? Is there any tutorial for that? Like, because these are the basic things we
Yes,
can
yes,
see, but how we gonna use that? Is there any way we can see that?
yes, we have. See here one is this is the Java guide. Here you can go through that, and we have multiples tutorials also there, and if you want some programming, that programmings and all will be available here. And if you want some project, then we'll also have some project.
actually I just want to see the project. How does it look like? How we gonna use the Java in the project?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So see, this is the topic Java full stack development tutorials, right? So here we have a multiple operations are there, like CRUD applications are there by using a Spring
Are
Boot,
you
React.
sharing? Are you sharing the screen or in the chat box, Amarjit?
I have shared my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Now,
Just a minute.
it's just an old screen. I see.
Now it's fine. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, yes. Now I see it.
Okay, so this is the Java guide where we have multiple tutorials and all is available. But if you want to check a programming and the real-time project, how we are working and what are the things we are doing, and core Java concepts and all will be covered. So for that we have a Java full stack development tutorials. Inside that, here CRUD applications are there, React with a Spring Boot, Mongo CRUD applications are there. So if you open any of applications here, so suppose if I am opening here CRUD applications using a Spring Boot, React and MySQL. So MySQL is database, React is a just a UI form, and a Spring Boot Java is a backend applications like Java core Java with a Spring Boot concept, which will be covered here. So if you open like how we will create a project, so this all are the steps are there. So already they have created a project, so they added some dependency because a Spring Boot is there. So this they added some dependency, and then after that they have configured database. So once the database configured, then insert, delete, update operations will happen. So they created some entity for the JPA, then they created some repository, then service layer. And in this layer, like while we created a service layer, so this service layer, so DTO file we are creating, then interface of employee interface we are creating, service business implementations we are creating. In here only we are using a Java core concept. So Java core concept, like how today we discuss like implement or extend. So this here we are using we have employee service IMPL. In that we are implementing, so employee service. So what is the use of implement, what is the extend, when to use implement, when to use extend, and multiple methods we are checking, or like non-static, statics and all, like so these things. We have a returns, when to use a returns. Suppose this is a list of, this is some a list of employee DTO, so this DTO should have a list type, so list type, so this should be have return. So either we have a employee return of what type of DTO, so employee DTO should have return type, so this returns will be there. This get all have a methods. And then here we use Java 8. And then these all are the control layer where we can access see here supers also we discuss, right, today. So super dot message is here. So why they use super, when to use supers and all. So supers mostly we use for this exceptions or some business logic. So while creating the exceptions, they extend, so they extend some keywords. So this is the parent key class and this is the child class. So this child class means they created one class, exception class, and they are extending this runtime exception means parent class. So whatever the common functionality from this runtime exception which will be coming in this. And after that we have a some resource not found exception, we have a string message type. There we have a supers means like immediate parent class of behaviors constructor method will be called. So like that we used the all the concept. So if you want to go through this program, but this is based on this Spring Boot. So a Spring Boot also you should look, you should have to know about this Spring Boot, React JS and database, then only you will be able to run this application. So here they have created all the steps how we will create the applications in real time, how we can run this application. and what all are the testings will be performed, how we can test this application. And once you test the applications, then what all are the output will happen. This all things they have mentioned in the step by step. So like that we have a multiple project also will be there. So this is a tutorial based. So see the, so suppose if you are working in this, some of the employee, some of the department company or some of the college, there we have a list of employees there. Now you need to delete particular employee whose salary is less or who is absent today or yesterday. So like that we have to create a CRUD application for this employee to update the details, delete the details, insert the details, means add the employee, update the employee, delete the employee, or fetch the employee. So once you fetch this employee, so this is the addition of employee, and this is a updation of employee, and like that we have a deletion of employee or fetch the employee like search. So this way we can create a app. So once you will go through this, so like that you can create a application, same applications will be created, this page will be created, and you can run in your local host or local application, or you will be able to do. So these all are the steps we have to follow. Like that, this is the way, this is the java guide.net is the best site tutorials guide, which will be prepared for this real time questions also, as per my understanding.
Yeah,
Many are there, but this
yeah,
is very best.
yeah. Thank you, Amarjit, for that. Yeah, it's very useful.
Yeah, yeah. So here you can go for the Java with full stack development tutorials. So inside multiple things are there. If you are looking for Node.js, Express, Mongo, CRUD, then this will be. If you are looking for a Spring Boot, Theme Leaf, CRUD application, if you have a Spring Boot React, if you have a Spring Boot Angular, full stack application development, then you can go for this. Like that, multiple things are there. That we will discuss later, but if you want, you can go here.
Okay.
Okay, then tomorrow we will continue the next topic from the core Java part only. This all packaging and all supers, dic and others. Multiple supers, packaging and accessifier like public, private, protectors and all. When to use public, when to use private, when to use protected, and when to use defaults and all. So in real time, here also we are using some public, private, protected default from the DTO or any business logic. See here. See this, why we are
Okay,
using
Amarjit.
here private, why we are using here private. So these things we will discuss in this next. Okay then, bye everyone, we are closing here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.